final vloggy vlog. I hope I never ever have to do one again, but we'll find out. Watch like the national boards or whatever make you do these or something crazy. Anyways, a little awkward talking into a camera. Final vlog, some final thoughts about all of this. I'm going back and doing my curriculum mapping, which I did keep track of, but not really in a digital form. I kept it, and I kept notes and reflections on little class agenda sheets that I made every day. And what I'm finding is that, or what I found, that there were way too many factors to try and factor in at once, or I found it overwhelming. Some of these projects I read the directions, I made a list of what I needed to do, but I could not thoroughly focus on the directions while I was trying to incorporate in-task standards, SOLs. I was trying to integrate language arts and social studies SOLs and make the classes flow together. NCSS, if I already said that. The projects, and then on top of outside factors like school events, field trips, absences, what the students wanted to know. There was a lot of days that I had to say time out and do like quick lessons on a variety of questions that the kids had asked during the week, and I had made them brush over. I said, I don't know, I'll research it, or we'll do that in Friday's fun lesson, or Wednesday, or Thursday, and I got observed on one of those lessons with no themes, and it was quite disastrous. But I tried to do a lot of that because I really wanted to incorporate what the kids wanted to do. And there were some days that, for example, I was going to teach like the topography of the war and talk about, we'd already covered a lot of them, like the high ground in Gettysburg and stuff, but I kind of wanted to like re-hit that. But 10 minutes before class started, I decided that that is not what I wanted to do today. I wasn't into it, and I went and made a fun, cool lesson on the fly. I think it was one of my best lessons that I've ever done on the assassination of Lincoln. Kids loved it, worked out perfectly, and it helped that I was able to read the tone of the kids from earlier in the day, because I had them earlier for language arts, which is 1st through 3rd, and then 6th and 7th is social studies. And I could tell that my lesson was just not going to work that day, so I made a new one that I hadn't even planned on doing. But it was really cool, and it got in the assassination of Lincoln and a lot of important information. And we went through the diary of John Wilkes Booth, all kinds of fun stuff. So a lot of my best things were on the fly, and I definitely was not thinking about what I needed to get in the time frame when I did that lesson. I just decided that my other lesson was going to be a waste. I even went back and taught today because I felt like I couldn't get everything closed up as nicely as I would like to leave it. A few kids hadn't turned in their notebooks, 3 of them actually, and I went back today to nag them. It's Monday. Student teaching ended on Friday. I was teaching up until the last day, not gonna lie, although we did have a fun party. The kids threw me a surprise party. The kids were awesome, and I learned a lot. One of the big things I learned from being in the pod that I was in, we had a lot of students with AIDS and special needs and disabilities and things, and we had the pod leaders, or especially our teaching partner and my cooperating teacher, they're very good about setting a classroom tone. And I'd always believed that, especially middle schoolers, the teacher kind of can set the tone for the classroom and how the students interact. They agreed with me and a lot of my beliefs already about never humiliating a child. It was a very free-flowing, lots of distractions. Some people might not, some administrators and other teachers wouldn't be able to deal with that, but since we had aides coming and going, and we have a few students with full inclusion with severe autism, one in particular, the students knew the routine. They knew when this particular student had an outburst or something, to remain calm, not to look around and stare or be rude. And they were actually very, very good at working with the students who had special needs or disabilities. And I feel like that kind of tone was set by the teacher, because the teachers really made it a point, and I never really realized the significance of this until, I always believed it, but never really fully understood it until I saw this, made it a point to fully actually incorporate these children into the classroom and kind of take on some techniques and make the other students aware of them, interact with them, and I feel like the other students benefited way more from the inclusion process than the actual students with the disabilities or special needs. And we set this tone of everybody accepted, respecting everybody's beliefs. If I were to shun one student and roll my eyes at him, I feel like the rest of the class would do the same every time. Especially I've got a few who constantly raise their hand and constantly have interesting information to share. And if I, as a teacher, kind of rolled my eyes or huffed at him like, oh, what are you going to say now? I feel like the rest of the class would do that too and kind of take on that attitude towards the student, and that never allowed. Let's see. Students were fantastic. They gave me lots of cards and sweet poems and stuff when I left, and made me so sad. I'll be visiting them a lot. Didn't have one child that I disliked. I can't tell you how many times I refilmed vlogs because they wouldn't upload. They'd disappear from the camera, the computer gone. It was a nightmare. Good thing I take notes for every single vlog. So when I refilm them and have to do them quickly, all in a row sometimes, no big deal because I've already got all the notes and everything I want to talk about. And I think overall my experience was wonderful. It really confirmed that I wanted to actually teach, which is a good thing. I was having my doubts there for a while, but there's a difference of being in the classroom with the kids, and I don't mean this way, but when I was putting time into lessons and stuff, like hours and hours into researching materials, I felt almost like some of it wasn't pointless, although some of our assignments for a graduate school, like, I know they're not pointless, and it's a lot of reflection, and it does call on us to think a lot about, like, what we're actually doing and stuff. I get that, but I could actually see the end result through the kids and what they learned, so it's a lot more rewarding. That would be the nice way of putting it. It's a lot more rewarding to actually plan lessons and go through that process and really make materials for the kids that I thought they would like, visually appealing, the aesthetics. Overall, it was positive. My cooperating teaching partner, awesome, couldn't have been any more supportive. He helped me a lot with the Smartboard, which I feel like I feel confident now walking into an interview and talking about the Smartboard, because now I can actually do it and I'm not really halfway fudging, oh yeah, I'm comfortable with the Smartboard. Yeah, that was a question in one interview. So overall it was positive. Definitely want to teach now, and actually I would like to stay at BMS. Right now I don't know where I want to go in the country. I don't have time to research. So for now, temporary fix, staying in Blacksburg. Hopefully I can get a long-term sub or something teaching over at Blacksburg Middle, because the environment was so positive and the staff was awesome. A lot of out-of-school activities, hanging out, kind of getting our mind off things, good times, laughs, always very upbeat. If someone was having a bad day, everyone stepped in and helped out. If there was a sub, especially our teaching partner would run in there and make sure everything was set up, the Smartboard was ready to go for the substitute teacher, and like a lot of really, really sweet stuff like that kind of gets overlooked sometimes. Oh yeah, technology, that's what I was talking about. It was extremely overwhelming at points. It still is, especially now that I have 2 projects due tomorrow that I'm trying to put together. Very, very hard for me. I'm glad I had to do it, although ask me again when I'm doing my portfolio presentation and I might tell you a different answer, because I did learn a lot, and as much as this program stank some of the time, and as bitter as I am that other programs who are in the teaching graduate don't really have to do as much, I think probably learned a lot more, and my CT is right that the students who come out of this program are probably a lot more prepared